Okay, it is now 3 o'clock, and I do appreciate everyone being here, so I'm going to go ahead and start now. Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome, and thank you all for participating in the Dangerous Goods Search Tool and Illicit Goods Convergence Forum. I know you're busy, and I value your time, so we'll begin. My name is Jacob Golson. I am the Postal Operations and Safety Expert at the UPU. Next slide, please. We have a lineup of experts and great presentations for you today. Before we get started and get into the meat of what we're going to talk about, we just have a few logistics to discuss. The attendees' microphones will be muted, but I do encourage questions, so please enter them into the question function, and we will address them following each of the presentations, at the end of the webinar, or in follow-up documentation. The forum will be recorded, and we will post a link to the recording when available on the UPU website for you to review the content or to share with your colleagues. The last slide as we get to the end of this forum includes a QR code link to a survey, which I encourage you all to participate and provide your feedback to the survey so we know what you would like to see from us in the future forums and webinars. Next slide, please. Attached is our program for today. You will hear from experts you know well from the UPU and our partners in the Transnational Alliance to Combat Illicit Trade, otherwise known as TRACIT. To start us off, I am pleased to introduce Mr. Abdel Boussetta, the Director of Postal Operations here at the Universal Postal Union International Bureau. Director Boussetta, the floor is yours.
Do you hear me now? Is okay? Jacob?
Yes, we can hear you now, Director.
Okay. As I wanted to check that I'm not talking to myself. Okay, thank you, Jacob. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and distinguished guests, welcome and thank you for joining us today for the Universal Postal Union Dangerous Goods Search Tool and Illicit Goods Convergence Forum, and special welcome and thank you to the presenters that are sharing their experiences in combating the transmission of dangerous and illicit goods with us. I would like also to give special thanks to Transnational Alliance to Combat Illicit Trade. I'm really very happy to see that our collaboration was materialized in 23 by MOU, which was a very big step in our cooperation. And thank you, TRACIT, for your continuous support to the UPU and for commitment to the postal security. The partnership with the TRACIT has been instrumental in reducing illicit goods transported through the post. This forum is a result of ongoing collaboration between the UPU and our partners, and serves to demonstrate the strength of partnership in enhancing security across the global postal network. Webinars and forums like this give us the opportunity to learn from experts, from designated postal operator and government partners, such as law enforcement and customs authorities, as well as private industry. Experts that we partner with to strengthen postal security across all UPU member countries. As we will learn from the presentations and presenters today, mitigating illicit goods is an effort that involves prevention through product security enhancement, training, investigations, digital solution, and collaboration between posts and their partners. As we look to the future, I am confident that strong relationship we have fostered through collaboration will continue to benefit UPU member countries, designated operators, and our partners around the world. The work we do together is more important now than ever, and I have no doubt that the lessons learned and the network we have will play a crucial role in the evolution of postal security. In closing, I would like to emphasize the critical importance of synergy, not only in our training initiative and the exchange of the best practices, but also in the strategic use and sharing of data. This integrated approach is vital to enhancing the accuracy and effectiveness of illicit good detection and to reinforcing the overall resilience of the global postal security framework. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoyed the forum. Back to you, Jacob.
Thank you, Mr. Busetta, for those words. They are much appreciated. Our first speaker today will be Ms. Surya Padmanabhan, Director of Programs, Transnational Alliance to Combat Illicit Trade, TRACIT, regarding the UPU and TRACIT Pharmaceuticals Toolkit. Surya, you have the floor.
Thank you, Jacob, and thank you, Director Busetta, for raising the partnership between TRACIT and UPU. It has been a very fruitful partnership, and at TRACIT and on behalf of our members, we've always appreciated how swiftly the UPU Secretariat has been able to treat illicit trade as a priority and work with the private sector in delivering various tools against illicit trade. Special mention to Dawn, Jacob, and also Susan, who's retired now. But we have had 6 years of just ticking off from those boxes all the programs that we wanted to put in place. So we do appreciate that. So let me start by introducing TRACIT and what we do for those who aren't aware of us. And then I will get into the work that we've been doing with the illicit pharmaceutical toolkits. Next slide, please. So TRACIT, or the Transnational Alliance to Combat Illicit Trade, is a private sector initiative to mitigate the economic and social damages of illicit trade. We've always recognized that illicit trade is a global problem. It cuts across diverse sectors. And the exploitation of the legitimate supply chain and the global financial system that serves it is common to most forms of illicit trade. So whether that's illicit pharmaceuticals or wildlife or pesticides or counterfeit goods, it's the same supply chains that serve it. So we built TRACIT to uniquely address illicit trade across these 12 sectors with the primary objective of making the private sector smarter and making governments more effective by promoting a holistic and interconnected way to address this problem. Next slide, please. So our work with the UPU began back in 2019, pre-COVID days when things were relatively more normal. And we were already seeing that small parcels were increasingly being used to ship illicit goods. And that's when we first met with Dawn, we met with a few others from the Secretariat to address UPU, looking at these risks of illicit trade more closely. The first thing that we wanted to do is we wanted to understand from posts themselves on what they are faced with, what are the vulnerabilities, and where are their challenges in addressing illicit trade. So what we did is we prepared a survey, a really comprehensive survey that was sent out to all UPU national posts. And we got a response from 115 postal operators saying that this is a challenge and they are also increasingly seeing this in their supply chain. Through this, we had really gathered enough evidence. So we proposed a dedicated working group on illicit trade to the UPU, to the Postal Security Group. And very quickly and very swiftly, like I mentioned in my introduction, by 2022, it was the first ever task force to look at illicit goods in small parcels. It's called the Illicit Goods Mitigation Expert Team. And we formalized our partnership thereafter with an MOU and a joint program. So we've been delivering on that work program since. We've launched specific projects, awareness campaign that's been translated in 6 languages. We've had monthly meetings of the IGMET, and we've been exchanging information posts talking about these different challenges related to illicit trade and the different sectors that are also impacted by it. Through that, we also deliver the illicit pharmaceutical toolkit, which I will get into in a minute. But just to say that this work has been expanding, this work has been growing, and as part of the private sector, we're really pleased with the direction it's taking. Next slide, please. So the illicit pharmaceutical toolkit came about because, again, back in that survey, when we talked to Post, the number one sector that they said that they really faced with problems was pharmaceuticals. Detection was difficult. It was very hard to understand what illicit pharmaceuticals is based on the national jurisdiction and what to do about it. So that is why we decided that the first toolkit that we would develop is on pharma. There are others in the pipeline, which I will talk to towards the end of my presentation. So as part of this toolkit, we have a guidance document. Now, this is a very targeted guidance document. It doesn't go into paragraphs after paragraphs. It just gets down to the information and delivers to Post what they're required to learn. And along with this, there will be a postmaster's briefing, which is under development, and there will be awareness materials. What you see in this slide are really screenshots that I've taken of the pharma toolkit, and I've presented it here. And in my presentation today, while I will talk about the toolkit, I've borrowed content from it, but it isn't the entire comprehensive toolkit. If you do want access to it, please write to Jacob or I, and we're happy to share it with you. Next slide, please. So this is essentially what the guidance, the toolkit contains. It gives us an understanding of what exactly are we here to serve. Gives the definition of what illicit pharmaceuticals is, because a lot of Post did mention that that is challenging to address. We look at the health and safety risks, and then we move into the indicators and the red flags. Next slide, please. So the primary objective for us is really responding to the requests of Post, to helping them understand what the problem is. What is this that we call illicit pharmaceuticals? How is this moving in the supply chain? What kind of information does the private sector have that's useful for their risk profiling systems? And that's how we put this whole thing together. In doing this, we actually worked with a lot of our partners, our TRACIT members from the pharmaceutical sector. We worked with INTERPOL, we worked with INCB, the US FDA, and with the UPU as well in pulling all of these different resources together. Next slide, please. Now, we worked with the WHO definition of falsified medications, but we also wanted to expand that a little bit to illicit pharmaceuticals. Again, there is a lot of discussion against definition and language, but to keep it very simple, anything that is not legally moving in a supply chain needs to be deemed as illicit. So this does include diverted medicines, which is legal in one jurisdiction, but can be illegal in another. Theft, stolen products that are moved in the supply chain, tampering, expired medicines, and counterfeit medicines as well. Next slide, please. Everyone's aware of the immense risks from illicit pharmaceutical consumption. There's loss of life, there could be serious illness, or when someone is in a very critical condition, false medication can harm them from recovering, or the consequences can be more dire. So this is something that we absolutely communicate, even though there's a lot of awareness around it, just to lay out there that what we're dealing with is life-threatening. Next slide, please. Now, coming into the detection part of the toolkit, next slide, please. We have outlined about 4 questions that Post can ask right at the outset, because it just simplifies the entire process without needing to get into the different red flags. Is it legally manufactured? Are there documents to support that? Is it legally imported? Are there documents to support that? Are they seeing that it's being shipped and stored properly? And this is especially important for medicines that require a cold chain. And finally, for prescription medicines, is there a valid prescription, authorization, or any associated document according to the national legislation? If the answer to any of these questions is no, then it's probably illicit and requires further inspection. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So we narrowed this down to 4 primary indicators. Now there are a lot more data points that can indicate a good is illicit or not, but we wanted to really pinpoint it down to 4 large categories that makes it simpler for posts. And this is what we finally realized, that it can be the red flags can be under any of these baskets, and it's easy from thereafter to decide if a pharmaceutical product is illicit or not. So I will walk you through very quickly through each of these 4 indicators and the red flags under them. Next slide, please. So this is really on the visual and physical characteristics of the packaging. So this really serves as an early warning sign for illicit shipments. Poor packaging quality, stains, discoloration, lumpy boxes may all indicate to low-grade counterfeit operations. Seal integrity is another concern. Legitimate pharmaceutical companies do ensure that their products are packaged in a way that it cannot be tampered, the seals remain intact, and there will not be stains or leakages. So when a package shows signs of any of these, then it's probably suspicious. There's also the labels. When you're looking at an illicit package, very often there are simple spelling mistakes, grammatical errors, or the ingredient list is mixed up. It doesn't have the required labeling requirements per national legislation. So these are all very easy first sign tactics to detect an illicit parcel. So using X-ray scans or advanced detection tools, it is a way that we recommend to detect, to confirm whether the package is illicit or not. It's also worth emphasizing, like this huge attention note that you see at the bottom of this slide. Not all illicit goods come in bad packaging, and that's why the following indicators that I will discuss are also important. Next slide, please. So here we're talking about sender and recipient details to detect suspicious behavior. One major red flag is the use of fictitious information when names or addresses can't be verified, or they do not correspond to any known individual or business. And this is really easy to verify these days by a simple search online, by just looking up the phone numbers. It's quite easy to detect whether this place actually exists, whether the address actually exists. Another common issue is the absence of the return address. When a parcel doesn't list where it came from, that's often a sign of concealment, and again, that's suspicious. There's also recurrent shipments under different names. It's also a concern. If the same address is used repeatedly with varying sender or recipient names, or if the name appears across multiple delivery points, it may indicate an organized distribution network to avoid detection. We also see another behavior when a single location receives a high number of parcels, which is inconsistent with usual behavior. For example, deliveries to car parks or vacant properties or malls where you don't frequently receive packages. So again, here to address this, at the point of collection, verification processes need to be strengthened, verifying business legitimacy, return addresses, and just contacting the address written on the package. Next slide, please. Now we're moving down to documentation. A key red flag here is the absence of supporting documents, most importantly, prescriptions, invoices, or receipts, which are typically mandatory for prescription medicines while you're mailing pharmaceuticals. Without them, the legitimacy of the product is really questionable. Misdeclaration is another common tactic where the content listed on the shipping label doesn't match what's physically inside the parcel. And the other one is incomplete documentation. If there isn't the harmonized system codes, or there are vague descriptions like pills or like chalk, we see a lot of chalk powder. This is also suspicious. The other one is when items are sometimes hidden inside legitimate ones. Here we've seen a box of candies, and inside the box of candies there are pills hidden, or electronics or household goods. There are packages hidden in one inside the other. These are all examples of suspicious behavior. Next slide, please. Here, certain source countries are repeatedly associated with the production of illicit pharmaceuticals. For example, India and China that's verified by customs data as well as by the OECD. We're not saying that all parcels that are coming from India and China that contain pharmaceuticals are illicit, but it does warrant a closer inspection. We also see a pattern in destination addresses where they're repeatedly sent to the same cities or the same addresses, because this could serve as destination hubs organized by criminal groups to distribute illicit pharmaceuticals further. And then finally, we have transshipment, where parcels are routed through multiple countries to mask the true origin. And here you'll see multiple labels stuck one over another. And sometimes these labels are even conflicting. And for all these above, we recommend stepping up inspections. Next slide, please. So illicit parcels often share common traits or red flags. It's not necessary that that one red flag from all the 4 indicators that I talked about need to be present. It's just when there are more frequent incidences, when you're seeing them show up repeatedly across shipments, then it needs to be looked into. These patterns can be a mix of any of the red flags that were highlighted before, or even one of them. The more pronounced the pattern is each time, the higher the likelihood that the parcel is part of an illicit operation. Here we urge cooperation. As part of the private sector, we always offer our help to law enforcement for detection, because especially when it is a counterfeit product, the pharmaceutical companies are the best to tell you whether this is illicit or not. But there's also other agencies that play a very important role that need to be contacted: the national drug agencies, customs, border control, health and safety. And also we encourage regional cooperation with other posts to dismantle illicit supply chain. Next slide, please. Yeah. So in terms of implementation, our role has been to speak more about this toolkit, to walk posts through it. We've also been presenting it to customs. So we've presented this to INTERPOL, we presented this to WCO, we had a meeting with Post Europe couple of weeks ago, and then last week we presented it to Uganda and Kenya as part of their Operation African Star. So we continue to work on the implementation. We would require continued feedback from hosts to make sure that these tools are used effectively and that they can be useful for posts as we develop these tools further. Again, if there's any national post that would like us to bring this toolkit to your home country for us to talk to you about it, so you can train posts internally, we're very happy to do so. Next slide, please. And we have 2 toolkits coming up, both of which are going to be finalized from our end in the next 2 months. One is on counterfeit goods and the other one is on tobacco. The reason that these 2 have been chosen is because these were the second and the third sectors that posts had indicated as challenging to detect and of high frequency as well. So we're just moving down that list that posts had given us. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And thank you to the Secretariat for inviting me to speak here today.
Thank you, Surya, for your time. Again, if anyone does have any questions, please enter them in the Q&A box or the chat box down below. Surya will be departing shortly, but if questions do arise, we will make sure that we get them to her so we can get an answer for everyone. All right. Next up, I will showcase the UPU's illicit goods campaign. So a little bit of the background: as the threat of illicit goods continues to grow, the Illicit Goods Mitigation Portal, which is on the UPU website, is a tool designed as a centralized hub, bringing together and streamlining access to a diverse range of existing campaigns focused on the prevention and mitigation of illicit goods. This platform serves as a valuable resource, providing knowledge and easy access to a wide array of tools and materials that can be utilized to strengthen mitigation efforts. The campaign overall, or the portal, has been broken down into 4 topics related to separate types of illicit goods. and I will walk you through each topic and some of the resources available. The next slide, please. The first topic is general counterfeits, and for this specific type of illicit goods, it's been broken down into two campaigns, specifically I Buy Real, which focuses on the consequences of buying fake products and was a collaboration between the UPU and the Business Action to Stop Counterfeiting and Piracy. And the second campaign is Go for Real, which is an educational initiative for secondary school students on how to make buying decisions as they gain independence. Additional audience outreach tools additional audience outreach and tools are also available on the Illicit Goods Campaign portal on the UPU website. Next slide, please. Okay, as you see from here, there are 8 individual posters for the I Buy Real campaign, which is designed to raise awareness to the consequences of buying fake products. The intent of all of these posters is to show how choices make a difference, specifically how counterfeit products can crash software, support larger criminal organizations involved in violent crimes, negatively impact the employment of legitimate producers, and how counterfeit medications can have no effect or life-ending consequences to those that are needing the medication. Next slide, please. The Go for Real campaign is similar, as the same theme. However, it is a series of videos that emphasize the points instead of a number of posters, and it is focused on secondary school students. This campaign uses a number of videos to emphasize their points. Next slide, please. Okay. The second topic is pharmaceuticals, and as Surya discussed, fake pharmaceuticals are having disastrous effects worldwide. In the US, an average of 22 adolescents, 14 to 18 years of age, died in the US each week in 2022 from drug overdoses, raising the death rate for this group to 5.2 per 100,000, which is generally driven by fentanyl in counterfeit pills. In addition to that, regarding our efforts, and as Surya again mentioned, using the TRACIT toolkit in cooperation with the US Food and Drug Administration and other agencies, the UPU worked with Kenya's Pharmacy and Poison Board and Uganda's National Drug Authority with support from the International Narcotics Control Board and the Universal Postal Union for Operation African Star to successfully seize 92 unauthorized, falsified, substandard, or illicitly manufactured pharmaceuticals packages totaling over 115,000 units and 1.15 kilograms during a 4-day operation in Kenya and Uganda. The World Health Organization estimates that 10% of medical products in low and middle income countries are also substandard or falsified, which results in treatment failures, drug resistance, and thousands of preventable deaths. Commonly seized illicit pharmaceuticals include fake cough syrups, pain relievers, opioids, weight loss and diabetes medications, antibiotics, and erectile dysfunction treatments. Next slide, please. Going over some of the outreach tools, the campaign on the UPU website includes the links to the following tools, which you see in front of you. The tools are designed to help designated postal operators understand what to look for and how to help remove counterfeit pharmaceuticals from their networks before they have the devastating effects we have seen worldwide. Next slide, please. Okay, the third topic of the campaign is against intellectual property. The UPU's campaign for protecting intellectual property helps raise awareness to consumers while also providing resources to small and medium-sized enterprises to protect their own products. Next slide. Specifically, the campaign is for building respect for intellectual property. The campaign is broken into 4 parts to engage as large of an audience as possible and includes interactive games through the World Intellectual Property Organization, a manga used to create an engaging narrative, and other online interactive platforms. Next slide, please. Specifically, the World Intellectual Property Organization is what you see here, is the United Nations agency that serves the world's innovators and creators, ensuring that their ideas travel safely to the market and improve lives everywhere. The World Intellectual Property Organization was established in 1967 and currently has 193 member states. WIPO leads the development of a balanced and effective global intellectual property ecosystem to promote innovative and creativity for a better and more sustainable future. They do so by providing services that enable creators, innovators, and entrepreneurs to protect and promote their intellectual property across borders and acting as a forum for addressing cutting-edge IP issues. In partnering with the UPU, the campaign is able to reach the designated postal operators to help reduce the counterfeit products traveling through the networks. Next slide, please. The final campaign topic raises awareness to the effects of illicit trade in plants and wildlife. The risks include negative impacts on conservation efforts and allows the spread of harmful pests, species, subsequently resulting in the disruption of ecosystems. Next slide, please. The UPU has worked with multiple agencies to provide resources in one location, which is the UPU Illicit Goods Campaign portal. The end goal being the prevention and disruption of and distribution of illicit plants and wildlife. Next slide, please. Bringing it home a little bit to connect to some of the consequences of counterfeit goods. While the outside of the effects of manufacturers, consumers, and workforce of counterfeit good products already discussed, there are others. Large criminal organizations involved in IP crimes commit other crimes in conjunction with or out of a response to competition. As recently as the article seen on this slide, violent actions are being taken by those involved, specifically to eliminate competition in IP crime. Final slide. Okay, everybody, thank you for your attention. If you do have any questions, please enter it in the chat or the question box, and we'll get back to you during the webinar or at a later date. Next up, we have Mr. Sofian Jouini, Administrator of UPU Trainpost Platform, International Expert in E-Learning and Training Technologies, and the Subdirector of the Tunisian Post Virtual School, who will be providing an overview of the new courses available on Trainpost on illicit goods mitigation. Sofian, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jacob. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you today to talk about Trainpost and the growing role it plays in delivering multilingual, engaging, and free of charge online courses to postal employees around the world. Like everybody knows, postal security is a critical priority for postal operators worldwide, and continuous training plays an essential role in ensuring safety, compliance, and operational efficiency. During this presentation, I'll talk about Trainpost and focus more on postal security courses with a spotlight on two new courses that we'll have soon on Trainpost, which are dangerous goods and misuse of the postal supply chain. But before that, let me start by sharing some data I've collected from the Trainpost platform over the years. These statistics clearly shows that postal security has been the most in-demand training field among postal operators worldwide. This demand has grown significantly, especially since the UPU began investing in digital learning technologies to expand course delivery. As a result, and as you can see from this slide, security certification, advanced course, and dangerous goods have become most popular courses on the platform over the last 3 years. As you can see from the table, among 95 courses, postal security courses have the highest number of enrolled users, awarded certificates, and highest number of participating countries. Next slide, please. As part of this year's new course rollout, 9 courses focusing on postal security will be launched on 6 languages, which are English, French, Arabic, Spanish, Portuguese, and Russian. And thanks to the support of the US TIDE Fund, we have expanded from just 2 courses in 1 language before 2022 to 12 high-quality postal security courses in 6 languages. Therefore, the diverse set of online courses offered through the Trainpost platform will certainly play a key role in helping postal operators in UPU member countries enhance security and combat the movement of illicit goods. Next slide, please. Let's now take a closer look at the first new course on dangerous goods. This course is structured in 3 modules covering what dangerous goods are, essential requirements and procedures for handling them, and safe handling and incident response for dangerous goods in postal networks. This course includes 3 progress tests, a final test, and a certificate of completion. As you can see from the right side of your screen, the course was designed in one of the best e-learning formats with interactive multimedia content, video players, object interactions, and professional voiceover. As we are now in the phase of integrating this course to the platform with the necessary settings, activities, file resources, blogs, question bank, this course will be available for enrollment starting September 2025. Next slide, please. The second course is on the misuse of the postal supply chain, and it consists of 7 modules, tackling serious threats like drugs trafficking, cigarette trafficking, illicit pharmaceuticals, intellectual property, money laundering, firearms, and lottery mail. Each module includes a short quiz. The course lasts about 4 hours and is also available in 6 languages with similar interactive features and certification. Next slide, please. Let's now talk about our strategy for promoting security courses on Trainpost platform. This strategy is built on several key pillars. And the first, and perhaps most important, is our growing network of local facilitators. Thanks to 3 Trainpost tutors workshops organized by the UPU for the Arab region, Caribbean, and Africa, we now have a network of 84 trained local facilitators that represent their respective postal operators and play an important role in managing participations to UPU's e-learning courses. What do these local facilitators already do? According to them, they announce internally the launch of the new courses. They form groups to follow online courses according to their specialties and role at the post. And they, at the same time, they share with us their training initiatives, information like list of participants, groups, courses, etc. This close coordination allows us to reach more learners and ensure that the training reaches the exact target audience. Next slide, please. The second key pillar in effectively promoting security courses is a set of communication of tools that we use to keep learners informed and engaged. Right now, we rely on several channels, including course announcements, which is a feature on the platform notifications, support forum, and the Trainpost mobile app. Soon, as well, Matrix, which is a new communication platform dedicated for training, is being integrated to replace WhatsApp groups and support multimedia messaging, including text, voice, and video. So what do we advise to stay informed? For that, all learners need to do is to register online to Trainpost. Once registered, they become part of the Trainpost learners community. Next slide, please. Let's move on now to talk about the third and last pillar in our strategy for promoting security courses on the platform, which are the enrollment pages. These pages are accessible for all of you from Trainpost platform. On these pages, we focus more on making them as clear, informative, and helpful as possible. These pages provide all the essential details like the general aims, target audience, course duration, skill level, and the structure of the course. And to give both guests and registered users a quick preview, we include a short introductory YouTube video right on the page. This is part of our ongoing effort to ensure the highest level of learner satisfaction and efficiency, something we've consistently seen through the positive feedback, comments, and survey responses we've received from them, the vast majority of participants. Next slide, please. To let postal operators make the most of Trainpost, we have introduced during the last 2 years some new flexibilities at different levels, which are mainly about all courses are open for enrollment year-round, from February to December. Learners can enroll in multiple languages for the same course, which is ideal for bilingual participants. Group enrollments via email lists are supported as well. Another flexibility is that learners who fail progress tests can request additional attempts and to unlock remaining modules. And the last one is the Trainpost mobile app. The Trainpost mobile app lets users follow their courses on the go, and even when they are offline. And I think that it is especially helpful for those who want to download courses to their mobile devices or are dealing with limited or unstable internet connections. Next slide, please. Let's now talk about the roles we assign to help monitor learner participation. Our network of local tutors or even security managers from postal operators can request the role of non-editing local tutor. This role gives them access to local and separate course groups where they can closely track participation from their own country. We also assign a separate non-editing tutor role to UPU security managers. This allows them to freely navigate the course and monitor all learners' progress and countries and even access detailed statistical reports. The third and last role is tutor, named also editing tutor. This role is dedicated more for course integrators and platform admins. Next slide, please. So let's now take a look at how individuals and groups of people are organized when they access to the UPU's security e-learning courses. Through our ongoing communication with postal sector officials in many countries around the world, as well as with UPU IB experts, we've been able to identify 3 categories of learners. The first one is the self-paced learners, either individuals who prefer to, at their personal request, to go through the content at their own rhythm, anytime and anywhere, or those following courses under instructions from their postal organization. The second category is the in-person group learners. These are typically employees who attend facilitated sessions organized by their postal operator, using the online course as the foundation for group discussions and activities. And finally, learners who use the courses as preparation for UPU-led postal security workshops. In this case, the online modules serve as essential prep work, helping participants build a solid foundation before attending regional or global workshops. And I think this makes the in-person sessions much more effective and interactive, because everyone arrives with the same baseline knowledge. Next slide, please. Now let's talk about how we track and monitor participation in the postal security courses. We have 2 key tools that are especially useful for UPU IB experts and program managers. First, we have the business intelligence dashboard that you see on the screen, which offers real-time data visualization and tracking. So managers can quickly see how learners are progressing, which countries are active, and which courses are gaining traction. For example, you can view monthly participation trends, language preferences, and even geographical distribution, all in just a few clicks. Then we have custom reporting. These are tailored reports designed to give deeper insights into learner participation, completion rates, and overall engagement. This feature allows each postal operator to receive 5 custom reports that we have built especially for them, and we also provide specific reports to UPU security managers and IP experts. These reports are easily accessible, as you can see in the screenshot, right from the platform's reports section in the user dashboard. Together, these tools help us not just track activities, but also to make improvements to the platform, ensure follow-up, and identify where additional supports might be needed. Next slide, please. Before I wrap up, I want to quickly remind you that Trainpost mobile app is available for both Android and iOS. It's a great way to access your courses anytime, anywhere, even where you're offline or dealing with poor internet connectivity. You can scan the QR codes on the screen to download the app directly from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. The app makes learning more flexible and keeps you connected with the platform, whether you're at your desk, commuting, or even traveling. So feel free to take a moment now to scan the code and get started if you haven't already. That's all from me, and thank you.
Thank you, Sophia. I appreciate the presentation. Last but not least, everyone, we have Mr. Stefan Herman, UPU Postal Technology Center's lead technical account manager for mail products and services, who will be showcasing the UPU Dangerous Goods search tool. Stefan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jacob. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So I will present the new software that the Postal Technology Center has developed, so Dangerous Goods search tool. So thank you. So DGST. So what DGST is, in fact, is a tool to help and to assist operators, carriers to detect, identify, and intercept the dangerous goods in the supply chain. I will explain in more details how it works. So the development of DGST has been funded by the US Tide Fund. Next slide, please. So first, what are the business drivers? So early detections of dangerous goods, in fact, allow improve safety and security. So if we can remove some dangerous items from the mail that is transported, so we'll improve that. Prevention of criminal activity, so legal and regulatory compliance, safe transportation and handling cost. So if we detect dangerous items in advance, we don't then send them. We don't need to send back some receptacles to open them. So we just block them at the leg 1 of the supply chain. And it's also useful to monitor trends in dangerous goods appearances. So this is maybe a link to the first presentation from Soraya when she explained about fictitious, for example, names and postal addresses. So it's something that DGST can detect and can use, in fact, to detect some items that should be stopped. Also to have the same for common cities addresses frequently used. So same thing, it's information that we will get and we will use in DGST to stop some items. So I will explain you how. So on the next slide, please. So what DGST is exactly? So that's the scope. So there are two main parts. We have the prediction, which is an API, that calculates the probability of an item being dangerous. And we have the analytics part with the reporting and the search query. So there are some reports, dashboards, and there's also a search query mechanism to again to search by a name, by addresses, by type of mail, and so on. So next, please. So I will start with the API part, so the prediction part. So we use machine learning, we use the AI to in fact to create what we call a prediction score. And this is based on the EDI messages that are exchanged between postal operators. We use, for example, EMS CVT. With EMS CVT, so we have some information like locations, post offices. We know where items are posted, where they have to be delivered. We use the reason codes when, for example, items are held at customs. So we have some reason codes, and that's what we use. For example, there's a code for dangerous goods, dangerous items. So we use this type of codes. We know, for example, when mail items have a cancel import or cancel export, and same thing here. We use this information and we use the reason codes associated to this event. And from ITMAT, we get all the sender recipient information, description of items. So we get many information here. So at the moment we use EMS CVT and ITMAT, but of course it's not limited to these two EDI messages. In the future, we plan to use more EDI messages. For example, we have the verification notes. It's paper-based at the moment, or it can be sent in PDF format via email, but there's an EDI standard for that. And when Post will start exchanging electronic verification notes, we will then use also this message, this EDI message, to feed, in fact, the system, and the system will learn from more sources. So next slide, please. So the system calculates the probability. It's near real time. We, in fact, when Post and Customs exchange EDI messages, so we can get a copy of those messages and we feed the system. And then, as I said, it's accessible through an API. The system, so it's a machine learning. So the model is retrained, in fact, regularly to improve the accuracy of the prediction scores. And then, so what we return is, as I said, is a score. So between 0 and 100%. So that's based on the information we have. So based on the information from sender or postal address, recipient name, recipient address, content pieces, and so on. So based on all those elements, the system calculates a prediction score that is returned to the post, and then each post can then decide what to do based on this score. So later in this presentation, I will show you how we want to implement that in our IPS system. But for Post using bespoke systems, they decide how they want to use this prediction score. They can set their own thresholds. Below that threshold, maybe there's no action to be taken. Above that threshold, they can decide on the type of action they want to take. Thanks. One word about data privacy. That's something important. We use the data only from postal operators that have authorized us to use the data. So we host the PostNet network, so we can see a lot of EDI messages from most of the post, all the posts in the world, but we don't use all the data. We use the data only if Post have authorized us to use the data. So there's an authorization form that has to be signed by the Post. And then once we received this document signed, then we can use the EDI message to train the model. So that's something important. especially because ITMAT contains private information. So that's why we cannot use this data without the authorization of the post. Next slide, please. So I explained the API part, but I will show you in the diagram how it works. On the second part is, as I said, is about analytics. So the system has some reports. It has already some reports, and we could develop additional reports in the future based on the feedback from the post. These are just examples of some reports we have. And we have a query search tool that provides the capability to search for dangerous goods, but by combination of attributes, it means you can search by name, by address, by content, so and so on. Next slide, please. I explained that we use the EDI messages to feed the system and to calculate the predictions. But what's important here is to integrate with external systems, because interfacing with external system will improve the predictions, because we'll get more information or maybe different type of information that will be useful for the system to improve the accuracy of the prediction scores. So the system is open, in fact, and can be interfaced with any type of external systems, like national databases maintained by designated operators or customs. We know that, for example, for some customs, they maintain databases containing names and postal addresses of maybe suspicious people. So we could interface with those databases. Databases from other UN organizations, and INCB is one of them. And we have started the discussion with INCB, and we should finalize integration with the system this year. But it could be some other UN organizations, denied parties, databases, the confirmed dangerous goods report from the postal security program. So any type of databases. What's important here is that we don't need to copy the data. Again, we are talking about private data here. So for example, I explained that we are discussing with INCB to interface our systems, but the interface will not be a copy of the data. INCB will not give us the data because they also have a database with name and postal addresses. So we have a database with name and postal addresses. The interface is not about an exchange of data. The interface is we can submit a name, for example, and they give the equivalent of our prediction score. They give us a score, and this score will help us, again, to improve or to calculate our own prediction score. And it's the same on the other way. So we will not give any data to INCB, but if they want to submit a name, we could just give a score. That's it. And then from there, they can decide what to do. So that's something important. We do not exchange any personal data here, but we use, in fact, all the other databases to improve the predictions. Next slide, please. So this is an overview of what I just explained. So you see, so designated operator A and B, so that exchange EDI messages, and we get a copy of that. The national databases, the partners, the UN organizations, so any type of partner. So we use all the information that we have in the GST, and then on the left, we have the prediction API, which is an operational system that can be used in offices of exchange or post offices, and the analytics that can be used by some users in the post to access some reports and search query tools. On the next slide, you will have an idea on the operational process, so how it could work. So on the left side, so you have, in our case, the case of the UPU, we have IPS, but we have also DPS, which is the domestic postal system, and we can, and I will explain what we're going to do with those systems. So we're going to implement, in fact, the DGST interface in these systems, or any bespoke application as not all postal operators use IPS or DPS. They can also implement the DGST API in their own system. And then you have some examples. You can have a mail item scan, so the EMA, EMB, EMC, or any other scan. So when you scan a barcode, so a stand barcode, this information is sent to the DGST, so which is hosted by the UPU, and DGST will reply, will send a response with a prediction score in percentage. And then, as I said, each system can be configured differently, but then each post can decide what to do based on this information. And I will show you, for example, what we will implement in IPS. There will be a management function, in fact, to customize the actions and the messages that are displayed according to the prediction score, according to the level of score. So IPS and DPS will include this interface by default. As I said, it's not activated by default, because if a post does not authorize us to use the data, then the system will not return anything. But by default, IPS and CDS will be able to interface with DGST. So for bespoke applications, so for the posts that do not use IPS or DPS, you can contact us, contact the PTC, and we'll provide the post with the technical documentation, so the specifications, the security token, and the URL to connect to DGST. Next slide, please. These are just mock-ups. It's not finalized yet, but these are just mock-ups on how it could be implemented in IPS. On the left side, so you have the configuration screen. It's a management function to configure the messages and the actions according to the DGST prediction score. And you see, we could, for example, configure from 0 to 40%. We don't do anything. It's green. 41 to 80%. We have a message. We can customize this message. Can be good item to be sent to customs area 1, for example, with a color, with this orange color. And above 80% could be a different message with a red flag and maybe a blocking action. So it means that there's no further scan allowed unless we confirm that, okay, this item is okay and good to go. And on the left side, this is also how it could be implemented in the function receive letters at outward exchange office, so the EMB scan. So same, when you scan a mail item, it could be added to the list here with the prediction score and the message that can be customized. So as I said, these are just mock-ups on how it could be implemented in IPS. So the plan is to implement, in fact, this the support of this API in IPS 2025 that will be released by the end of the year. And for DPS, there's no date yet, but it could be this year or next year. Probably next year, in fact. Thanks. These are just screenshots on how it looks like. So DGST is hosted on QCS Mail Big Data. So there's an entry, DGST, and with several icons here to access the tool. So next, please. Next slide, please. So yeah, these are just on the following slides. These are just examples of how it looks like on QCS Big Data. We have the search query tool here. On the top, you see that you can capture mail item ID, and we don't see it, but if you click search, then you have all the data. But you could also filter by origin operator, destination. So in my case here, I can access to all operators, but of course, in your case, you can access only data of mail that is either sent to your post or received by your post. You cannot access the data of the other post. Next slide, please. So additional criteria here. If you want to search for dangerous goods, non-dangerous goods, you can search by mail class. You can filter by a threshold, prediction score threshold, and additional information here. And then at the end, you just click search, and you will get some results. Next slide, please. So these are examples. So even if this is just for test, to hide a lot of information here. So we have mail items, the prediction score, and some information here. Some reasons also why it could have been could be dangerous or not. But these are just examples here. They are just fake examples. But we could have, for example, a prediction score that is, or instead of 100% here, let's say it could be 90% flagged as dangerous. And then you could have some reasons here. For example, we maybe the main reasons are because items from that sender or that recipient usually, I mean, or always go to customs because they are flagged as dangerous, for example, and that comes from the EMSCVT event event, the EME that we have on the right. So that can be an example. Next, please. Then additional reports. Again, these are some examples based on the fake data, but these are some additional reports on predictions. So what was predicted as dangerous, what is actually dangerous, because maybe the system can detect something as dangerous, but at the end, the mail is delivered to the recipient. So in fact, the mail was not dangerous. So we analyze that, in fact. Next slide, please. Again, yeah, additional reports. Next. Yeah, reason for retentions. Yeah, these are this is in the type of information that is coming from the EMSCVT messages. For example, why items are held at customs, and we have some statistics on that. Again, can be filtered by name, address, operator, and we get some statistics. Next, yeah, thanks. So this is the final note and the final slide as well. So as I explained, so DGST so is a machine learning system. So it's built on top of our big data infrastructure. So where we have all the EDI messages. So there's no copy anywhere. So it's hosted by the UPU, and we know how to proceed with this large amount of data. But here again, I mentioned it several times, but if you're interested, so first contact us, and we'll provide you with additional information if you need that. And if you want to test the system, we will share the authorization form that you need to return, sign, and then you will be able to access DGST. So for us, what we need, in fact, is the more posts, in fact, join this program, and the more accurate will be the results, because then the system will be able to process much more data. So that's why we encourage the post, in fact, to test the system. And so we just, as I said, we just feed the DGST with some EDI messages, and then you can access it. So yeah, that's the last slide. So if you need any information on how maybe to integrate with your postal system, or how it will be implemented in IPS, you can contact us. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you again, Stefan. All right, next slide, please. All right, we did answer some questions in the chat, but before we go on to any others, I do want to highlight the Postal Security Group Chairman Award nominations. The slide, everything is on your screen. If you do have anyone you would like to nominate, please do so by July 1st. You can reach out to security@upu.int, or you can go to the website included in the presentation. Somebody did ask if the presentation and webinar would be available. They will be once the webinar is recorded, everything is taken care of. We will post that on the UPU website for your download and review either for yourself or for your colleagues. Okay. And again, for the Postal Security Group Chairman Award nominations, if you do have any to submit, please do so by July 1st. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, at this point, if anyone has any questions, please let me know, reach out in Q&A or in the chat, and we'll answer them. In the meantime, on the screen is the QR code for the forum survey. We do want your honest feedback as we value the information to ensure we provide forums that are relevant to our members, stakeholders, and interested parties. I'm going to leave that QR code up while it doesn't look like we have any questions while we go into the closing. So I do want to thank you all for your questions and your time. To close out this forum, I would like to thank you. First, I want to start by thanking Mr. Busetta for joining us on the call, but more importantly, thanking the presenters for your direct support and involvement in all our initiatives to combat illicit and dangerous goods in the Post. It is an honor for me to join you today for this Dangerous Goods Search Tool and Illicit Goods Convergence Forum. Since this is a very important topic for all of us, not only does it affect most posts, as Mr. Busetta said, it actually affects our private partners, the industry as a whole, and all of our customers whose goods are transported through the post. Today, you heard from some extremely informative presenters. The presenters themselves are very passionate and knowledgeable. They're experts in the field of postal security, dangerous and illicit goods mitigation, investigations, training, and digital solutions. I want to thank all of the presenters for having taken time out of your day to share your knowledge and your expertise on this particular topic. I also want to thank all of our participants for taking time out of your already busy day to listen, learn, and participate, which demonstrates your commitment to your job and to global security as a whole. And that's it, everybody. I want to be respectful of your time, so we're going to go ahead and close the presentation down. Thank you again, everybody. Have a good day.